Then the restriction was lifted, I think 2 months after, and everybody was like so happy, so joyous. It was the best time ever. It was the best time I've ever worked in the restaurant. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was so nice, and we were thankful, very thankful.
Today on Dirty Linen, we are travelling across the world to a country that I've been watching with great interest, well, for many years really, certainly in a culinary sense, and recently because of its interesting path through the pandemic. We are going to Denmark, to Fredericia, 2 hours from Copenhagen, where we're talking to restaurateur Mette Gassner. Her restaurant Ti Trin Ned has just retained its Michelin star. Mette, welcome to Dirty Linen.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm really thrilled to be talking to you today. To just set the scene for us a little bit, tell us about your restaurant, the setting, and what kind of food you serve.
It's I think maybe a small restaurant. We open for 40 guests, 40 guests, Wednesday until Saturday. We have had the restaurant for 20 years now, so we're a bit old.
Experienced.
And, we're experienced, very experienced. We call it a personal kitchen because we use our 30 years in the business here to create the menu, mainly Danish, Nordic kitchen. We produce mainly our products ourselves, our produce. We have a big garden where we farm and produce all kinds of vegetables and greens and fruits, berries. So this is our main.
What sort of place is Fredericia?
Oh, I think it's a small city. We have 60,000 people here, inhabitants. It's a quiet place, I think, very cozy, very hyggelig, as we say here in Denmark. Old city with lots of history, and everybody knows everybody here, I think.
And in normal times, what sort of customers do you have? Is it a lot of people that are travelling to the restaurant? Do you have a lot of local customers?
We have a lot of locals. That's why we are still here, I think. We do get a lot of foreigners. We do get a lot of German, Norwegian guests. From all over the world, mainly because of the Michelin star, I think. But also a lot of guests from Copenhagen. I think they have tried their own restaurants there a lot of times, and now they're traveling across the country and take a look what's happening on the other side of Denmark, here in Jutland.
And when you say we, who do you run the restaurant with?
My husband, he's the head chef. I'm the restaurant manager. We have separated, so we won't work in the kitchen, both of us. That would just cause a lot of stir, I think.
And I mean, I love restaurants that are so connected to produce in the way that you are. What's the farm like? Is it very close by? And is it somewhere that you work yourselves, or do you have someone that works there and keeps you up to date on what produce is coming through?
We started ourselves. And we live here at the farm. The farm is about 7 kilometers from the restaurant where we live. We have 4 acres of land, and we use like 3 acres now. And from the last 2-3 years, we had a farmer helping us, a young guy, very, very, very skilled, very open-minded, and I think he runs the place now, I must say.
It must be really nice to have that balance of, the farm all around you and then going off to the restaurant for that, I suppose, more urban experience. What's growing at the moment? What's good in the farm?
We have a lot of apples here, pears, plums, lots of cabbage, and I think it's the end of the season now, and all the root crops are starting to appear, but we like to save them for winter season. So we still like to keep this as much summer here as possible. So a lot of flowers, herbs, corn.
That sounds nice because we're just coming into spring now. So it's nice to think about those autumn fruits and the different stage of the year that you guys are in.
Yeah, I love autumn. Lots of flavor.
Yeah, that's true. Everything's really soaked up the sun. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So very ripe blackberries and stuff. Oh, love it.
Oh, nice. So what's a dish in the restaurant that you really think everybody should try at the moment?
Not to brag, but I'm working in the kitchen right now, and I've just made a dessert just to show what we have in the garden right now. And it's an ice cream made of caramelized sourdough bread with a very tart apple sauce with a bit of tagetes flowers, oil made of tagetes flowers and summer flowers here from the garden, just to keep the summer flavor in the mouth. So acidity from the apples and the freshness from the flowers.
I have to say, I think you can brag about that. It sounds really good. Is it a set menu style, or is it a la carte? How does the restaurant work?
No, it's a set menu. We have six courses in the menu, and then you can add a cheese dish. So 7 if you like.
Yes, I will add the cheese. Thank you very much. So Mette, we often hear news. I think, Denmark and Australia are pretty well connected. A lot of Australian chefs have worked over there, and a lot of people have travelled to Denmark to eat, especially in the last 15 years, I reckon. But we've definitely watched the Scandinavian experience through COVID with a lot of interest, and seen the news from Denmark recently, I think just 10 days ago, that all the COVID restrictions were lifted. Now, I'm speaking to you from Melbourne. We are in our 6th lockdown. It's been pretty tough. As you know, it's such a hard road for restaurants to travel. Just tell us what it's like for you at the moment, and then, if you can, just talk us through the past couple of years and Denmark's path through the pandemic.
I think we're all a bit shocked that we were shut down so fast. We didn't really experience in the beginning what was happening. We all heard of something in China, something in Yuan, what it's called, and we didn't know. And then all of a sudden we were just shut down, and we were like in shock, and just waited. And I don't know, something happened. A lot of people, I don't know if you've seen the Italians singing from the windows.
We did.
Yeah. Something like that happened here, but we did it in front of our telly at home. A lot of people gathered, and there was just some kind of a society, and everybody was so nice, and everybody was helping each other. And we baked bread and cooked like we never did before. And then the restriction was lifted, I think 2 months after. And everybody was like so happy, so joyous. It was the best time ever. It was the best time I've ever worked in the restaurant. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was so nice, and we were thankful, very thankful, I think, what was happening. And we thought now it's over, and everything is okay. And this was in the beginning, I think end of June. We were shut down in March. And then we shut down again the second time in December same year, 2020. And people were mad. They were crazy mad because what was happening. We did so well. We behaved so well. We were restricted. We did everything. We used like the sanitizer everywhere and everything. And people were just a bit mad. And no sourdough bread, just angriness and I don't know. We weren't so thankful. And then we were shut down for 6 months, almost 6 months. And we opened a little bit, very, very slow. We opened again, and we used the mouth. We used the we were sanitizing all the time, and we were very
Masks.
yeah, we used the mask all the time, and I think that was the worst thing for me as a front of house, as a waiter, to wear the mask, because yeah, it's something. I think it's like being a doctor, or being not friendly, not just more like a, like a, not coziness. I
Like
think.
shut away.
Yeah, very, very, very apart from our guests, and it was the worst. And then everything was lifted like in a month, and now we're just like, what happened? I think we're in shock, and the football stadiums are open, and we had just had a concert for like 50,000 people. I don't know. I think it's so weird. I don't think we can be happy and thankful yet, because we see what's happening all over the world, and I think we're a bit in shock. But some people have forgotten that. Some people just live now that like COVID never existed. They forgot what happened the last 2 years, and I don't know. I'm still in shock. I think our guests have forgotten all about it. No one uses sanitizer anymore. No one, because I'm the one who fills it up, and I can see no one's using it. So everything here is like, no, COVID's over. Everything is fine now. We got the vaccination. We're doing good, but I'm not sure.
That's so interesting. I really relate to your description of the different phases and the different emotions, because I think, when we reopened in June 2020, and we were similar. We reopened then. Melbourne had a bit of a different pathway than the rest of Australia. We shut again in August, but most of the rest of the country stayed open more or less from June until more recently. But it was that first reopening, it was really so much celebration. We really thought we'd done it and that was it. But I think the more times you close and you open, the harder it is to trust it. I think, but I think what we have been told, and what we've certainly seen, in other countries as far as vaccination goes, Australia is a bit behind in terms of vaccination. Denmark looks to us like, where we're trying to get. So I think 84% of your population 12 and over has been vaccinated. So that's more than double where we're at the moment. I think the Danish is it 6 million or so in your population? Yeah. So we're 25 million. So it's a little bit different, but it's not dramatically different. I mean, but it sounds to me like, even though you've got that great vaccination rate, that you don't quite trust where you are right now.
No, because I don't know, but there's a lot of people asking questions, and I understand they ask the questions. Someone has to ask questions, but still, it's like it's like a big conspiracy theory. Like, what? Why was the vaccination so fast, and why did I have it? And is it okay for young people? And is it okay for me? And do I have to get the Pfizer vaccination or Moderna or the whatever? God, I don't know. But we can see it's working, and our prime minister, a woman actually, and because I think she's a woman, a lot of people is asking questions because, does she know? Is she good? Has she done it right? And every time they ask so many questions, and so, my God, look at her. I think she done a great job. She did a great job, and she was just so firm, so steady, so trustworthy, and I don't know. I think from point now, she did great. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess we have to see how it all plays out. I mean, I think no vaccination for any disease is 100% effective, but I think, the figures definitely show that this vaccination is very effective. But I suppose, even when 84% of the population 12 and over is vaccinated, I suppose there are still people who aren't vaccinated who can still transmit it. So it just, remains to be seen how it all plays out. But yeah,
it goes fast. We can see for young people at school right now, the disease is going very fast. But
is it? You said your customers have forgotten about it. Is that the feeling? Like people just want to put it behind them? Is business good?
Yeah, business is very good. Everybody wants to go out to enjoy themselves. Everything they think they've been missing for the 5-6 months of shutdown, they want to experience right now. They don't want to wait like 5 hours. They want it right now. And yeah, it's weird. They want everything right now. Yeah.
And what does it make for what sort of experience do they want in your restaurant? Are they buying, the more expensive wine? Are they having, cocktails? Are they having, doing as much as they can with you?
It was like that the first time after shutdown. But now it's more like I think they want to, not just at the restaurant, but at everything. They're going out, they're traveling more. I think they do, buy the more expensive wine, but I think it's more like I can't describe it, but it's a feeling I just get. It's a feeling that they, not thankfulness, and more like I deserve something because I behaved well. I give me my prize right now. It's weird. I think.
Yeah, I understand. It's almost like people feel entitled to an experience, but they earned
the
it
entitlement.
But
they don't. They're not enjoying it so much this time like they did the last time, because the last time they were happy and enjoyed it and was thankful. Now they're just like, give me my prize, give me my entitlement, give me. I've done so right. Give me, and. It's not the same thing. It's not as not as happy this time, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like it's got a bit of an edge to it.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's that like for you as in the restaurant looking after them?
It's okay, but I'm thinking about the last summer because I was so happy last summer with the guests. This time it's also good, but it's the excitement is not so great this year. But.
And what about, are you already having travellers coming from other countries in Europe? And indeed, are you having travellers from the US as well?
No, we have travellers from Germany. A few from Norway. They're starting to come from Norway, but that's it, I think. Yeah.
And is that because that's the only ones that are allowed in, or just because that's okay? So
I think so, yeah.
Right.
And Germany is closed a lot right now, I think.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, Germany has hard times. They still wear the masks everywhere, and
Do you? Even though you hate wearing a mask, do you feel like nervous not wearing it? Do you sort of feel like maybe you should be wearing it?
Yes, I do. It's so weird because like from one day to another, everything was lifted, and we felt almost a bit naked and a bit unsafe and a bit. Everybody was too close, and why are you walking so close to me? Why are you standing so close? And the handshake never came back. I love the handshake, but now it feels weird to touch somebody, and just it's so weird, I think. And, we're standing with 1-2 meters apart still, because it's weird. Everything else would be weird. Yeah,
we've all created a new personal zone for ourselves.
Yeah, there's a very large space around everybody. You have your own little bubble, and it's weird.
Before all the restrictions were lifted, what was the situation for the restaurant? Did you have limited numbers, or did you have to check people in with a vaccine passport? Like what actually were the restrictions before September 11?
We did have to check the vaccine passport, and the restaurant had to close. The last service from alcohol was at 10, and then the restaurant had to close at 12, and we had something like I think four square meters apart from everyone for every guest. So a lot of restaurants had a lot of trouble with the numbers of guests because
Yeah, I mean, the vaccine passport is a massive conversation here at the moment. The main topics are you only allowed to have vaccinated diners? Do all staff have to be vaccinated? I mean, how did you find managing the vaccine passport? Was it very difficult for you as the restaurant manager to make sure that people were vaccinated if they were coming to the restaurant?
Not so much trouble as I thought it would be, but a lot of people were coming and then they forgot their passport, and then what do you do? I had to refuse them to get in.
And what was that must have been so difficult. What was was it something on their phone, or what was the form that the passport?
They could. We have an app and they could find it on the phone, but older people don't. Yeah, they're not so good at it, and they forgot. A lot of women, I think, they say, I'm not taking my phone to a restaurant. We're going out, and everything is on the phone now. Everything is on the iPhone, and they left it in the hotel.
I don't even understand. I don't really understand that someone comes out to a restaurant without their phone, but maybe that's just me. I know it's not just me, but yeah, that's really tricky. And what about staff? Were you required to have your staff all vaccinated?
No, actually not. And we do have one chef. He just stopped right here that last weekend, but he refused to get a vaccination. Then he had to go and get checked like 2 or 3 times a week instead.
Right. Okay. So if for whatever reason you weren't vaccinated, then you were required to be tested frequently to make sure that you. Okay. Yeah. So there was. Yeah. So and what about diners? Could diners come with a negative test, or they had to show that they were vaccinated?
No, they could come with a negative test, like 20. Yeah, there's 72 hours old test could be used.
One of the other things that a lot of people are wondering here is these rapid tests, more for concerts and that sort of thing. Like, is that something that you have there?
We did have it, and I don't know what to think about it, because it always spoke about how unsure it was. It was like more like 50% chance it was positive, but it wouldn't be really positive. And if we did have an employee with a positive test, we have to shut down the restaurant for almost a week to test everybody. And then it would just be a positive test, but it wasn't a true test. And I didn't. I asked my staff to use the real test, not the fast one, because we couldn't rely on it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's you don't want a false positive.
It's like no, that's too unsure.
So I mean, Mette, you've obviously, as you say, you've been in the industry 30 years, and this last 2 years, obviously, none of us could foresee that we would be dealing with any of these things, tests and checks and masks and all these things. Tell me about your journey in hospitality. What took you into the industry in the first place?
I always love food, actually. I love food in every way, and every time all my jobs from I was like 14 has been involving food, some point or the others. And when I was finished high school, I went to London to work as a waitress, and I saw the nice atmosphere in the kitchen, and I thought, that's me. I would love to cook. I love to cook anyway, so why not do it as a job? And then I went back to Denmark and started working as a chef apprentice, and that's the way in.
And was it just when you opened the restaurant with your husband that you moved to the front of house?
Yes, we were pretty sure that we had to split up, so we didn't stand in the kitchen, both of us, because we wouldn't know what was happening in the restaurant if we were hiding in the kitchen, with both of us. So, and he couldn't see himself in the restaurant. He's a bit shy, and yeah, I worked as a waitress before in front of house, so it was more natural. It was me, but it was a long journey, I think, because I'm also a bit nervous and a bit shy. So yeah, starting from scratch.
Yeah, interesting. And what is it that you love about the restaurant experience? You know, what do you love? What do you hope your customers get from it and take away with them?
Because that's the best part, is being front of house, because you see the joyous faces, you see the happiness, you see the thrill, you feel the atmosphere. It's just the best, because you don't get that in the kitchen, because you can have a lot of fun with all the other chefs, and it could be happy times, but you know, the joy in the restaurant, the atmosphere is just something else.
I really miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've still got a bit of a road ahead of us before we can get back to restaurants.
You know, the buzz in the restaurant when everybody's happy and you can see them smiling, and it's just, can't compare it.
Do you get a chance to travel to eat yourselves?
Yeah, but we have 2 kids now, so it's not so much anymore, not so much right now, but we do get out. And I think we're planning a trip to Stockholm next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah, I like to go to the restaurant Francine. I think they had 3 Michelin stars, and I love the food. It looks so tasteful. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, incredible. And what does the name of your restaurant mean, Ti Trin Ned?
It means 10 steps down, because we were located in an old cellar, an old liqueur play. They were producing liqueur and yeast from old production from 1850. So very nice, very cozy cellar. And we left that cellar in 2017 and built a new place just near the water, just 2 meters in front of the water side, to get light, to get air, to get space, to get new surroundings.
And so now you don't have the 10 steps, but you still got the name?
We don't know, but we kept the name. We couldn't, no, it was just, it is.
That's so interesting, because when I look at the photos of your restaurant, it's so bright and light and the water is right there. That must be such a different restaurant to run than the one in the cellar.
Yeah, I'm more happy now.
Really?
I get the summer times. I get all the seasons. In the cellar, I didn't see nothing. I just saw feet walking in front of the windows. I could just look up and see someone walking by, and that's it.
Wow.
Now I can see the rain. I can see the wind. I can see everything. It's just so nice.
Do you think the food changed when you moved premises?
Yeah, it did. Because I think our menu was a bit more light, a bit more, like happy, because we are more happy here. It's a bit more green. It's a bit more female.
So interesting. So Mette, it feels like, I don't know, even though the announcements from the Danish government were, COVID is in the past, but COVID is just now part of the landscape. We've dealt with it. The crisis has passed. Now it's just part of normal life. It sounds like you're not quite sure that that's the case, but do you feel like as each week goes by that you will sort of trust this new reality a bit more? I mean, is that what you're hoping at least?
That's what I'm hoping, but I'm preparing myself for a 3rd lockdown, I think, because I'm not ready for another shock, I think. But I hope it won't happen. I'm really hoping, because, yeah, that would be so sad, I think. And I hope we do get to just work till after Christmas, till the new year, and then maybe I'll trust it. But I'm not quite there yet.
It's really understandable, and I also understand that self-protective instinct. You know, if you believe in it completely, then the shock, if you're wrong, would be really devastating.
Yeah, it's so, because every time a lot of chefs here have actually started new jobs. It's so hard to find chefs and waiters here right now in Denmark, because the working hours is not nice. I think at least, and the working in the weekend, no one wants that anymore, because they've been shut down for almost 6 months. They have stayed home with their families. They have tried and tasted another life. They have been experiencing something else, and no one wants to get back to the working hours. No one wants to get back to work every Saturday evening. So a lot of people has left the business. A lot of people has find new ways to work, and I think we won't be one left if we have a third lockdown.
Yeah, I think I don't know a country where there isn't a staffing crisis in hospitality at the moment. I think it's definitely here. It's, when restaurants are open, all they're talking about is staff. It's so hard to find staff. It's so hard to retain staff. And when you're in a lockdown, you don't want to let your staff go because you're worried they won't come back. But of course, it's really hard to keep them engaged and keep paying them. So it's really difficult.
Yeah, and to keep the spirits up and to keep them happy. It's so weird, and it's so hard.
So does it mean that you need to work longer hours than you were in the past?
Definitely, but that's okay. We've been waiting for it for 5-6 months, but we need to see something ahead, something positive ahead. We need to have a hope that they do get back, they do want to get back to the business, that the young people do want to become chefs again, because right now the schools are, the training schools are, half the, I think normally they do have 30-40 apprentices starting every class, and now they have 12. It's so sad. It's,
I think people say the same things here. It's, I mean, in Australia, we depend a lot on internationals coming in from all around the world to be in the culinary schools, but also to be working in the restaurants. Is that the same in Denmark?
Yeah, I think, and the government has tried to lift some of the bans here because it's so difficult to come to Denmark and work. And they actually put chef's job here on the positive list, so it's possible to get in and work, because before you didn't have a chance. We were actually waiting for 2 chefs, one from Turkey and one from Spain, to come here, but it's not allowed yet for them to come. But we're hoping. We've been waiting for 2 months now. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, I hope you get them, and I hope they're great, and I hope they love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's it's really so lovely to speak to you, Mette, and to get the perspective from Denmark and your experience. Is there anything we haven't talked about that you think people over in Australia would be interested to learn?
I don't know, but you just keep waiting, and then it'll be okay again.
Yep. We have to believe
okay
that, don't we?
Now. Yeah, have to keep the hope up. And maybe I did sound a bit negative, but I'm not. But and I'm just looking outside the window now, and the sun is shining, and everything's great. And you almost forgot about COVID. I almost forgot right now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to make you talk about it.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, when I look at the figures, there's still a couple of hundred cases a day in Denmark, but seems like there's hardly anybody in the hospitals. It's very clear that the vaccines are doing their job. And I certainly hope as our percentage of vaccinated population increases, we can join you out of lockdown with full restaurants and happy customers, hopefully not too entitled and desperate, but just happy to be there. But I really look forward to visiting Fredericia one day and looking over the beautiful water of from Ti Trin Ned and eating something delicious from your farm and your kitchen.
I'd love to see you here.
Thank you so much, Mette. It's really been brilliant to talk to you. I wish you all the best, and I hope that you stay safe and well and out of lockdown, and that you're able to trust the situation more as time passes.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtyLinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This